Hey, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. For this week's reading, I am using the Modern Witch tarot deck. I actually really like this deck. It has a very classic kind of feel to it, and it's just a really easy, comfortable deck to read with. All right, so I'm going to start by drawing 3 cards. My intention, as always with this reading, is to give us an overview of the week ahead so that we can pinpoint, if there's any opportunities or energies that we need to be aware of. You may hear my kitty Merlina in the background. She really wants to go outside. We were just outside and she wants to go back out. Okay, so let's start with the first card. The first card is for Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And we have the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups says, don't cry over spilt milk and don't just focus on what's not working. Pay attention to what is working. And what I'm seeing a couple of symbols that are really jumping out to me. Number 1, the ground that she's standing on reminds me of melted cheese. And the bridge in the background is drawing my attention. And that bridge to me symbolizes crossing something and transitioning from one place to another place. And I see this as kind of you could think of it as like spiritual growth, or really, I think just figuring something out, like finding a solution to something, solving a problem, developing something within yourself, and moving forward. So I see that bridge is symbolizing that. And I think the way to do that is to pay attention to the things that you have succeeded at, especially in the past, 3 or 4 years. I'm just trying to think myself, what have I succeeded at in the past 3 years? I can't think of anything. Okay, you can go back further. The last 10 years. Think about what you've been successful at, something that you've accomplished that you're really proud of. And think, how did I do it? What kinds of characteristics did I tap into? What kind of skills did I utilize? And was there a particular formula that I used to make something happen? And pay attention to that, because you can use those same things in whatever it is that you're trying to do currently. But the 5 of Cups is definitely a warning, and it's saying the beginning of the week you may feel compelled to kind of stew in your own problems and kind of dwell on your problems. And sometimes there's a perverse kind of pleasure in doing that and on fixating on the negative and what isn't working. But the 5 of Cups is saying, yeah, you can do that, but that's not gonna move you forward. So, have your fill of dwelling on the negative and then move on. Don't stay there. Okay, so let's look at the next card. The next card is for the sun, the middle of the week. Oh, and I like this lady's outfit. Okay, so the middle of the week is like Wednesday, Thursday-ish. And we have the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands represents feeling almost a sense of competition, feeling like you have to really give it your all to stay on top. Maybe feeling like different challenges and roadblocks are popping up here, there, and everywhere. And you're really breaking a sweat trying to make it all work and trying to keep on top of your game and make everything flow and happen. The 7 of Wands is also about, more than anything, it's about perceiving that you're under some sort of threat. And it's usually like not like a real threat, but like a competitive type threat. Like feeling like you have to prove yourself or maybe even defend yourself in some way. And what's interesting about this card is that there's no other people in this card except the main woman in the middle. And so I feel like this feeling that may come up for you this week, of feeling like you have to prove yourself, or feeling kind of defensive, it mostly has to do with you and your relationship to yourself and the way that you perceive things, more than it does other people. So even though it might feel like other people are criticizing you or that you have to prove yourself to other people, really deep down, this is more about you connecting more with yourself and basically being okay with who you are. And once you're okay with who you are, you won't feel like you have to prove yourself to others this week. Okay, let's have a look at the last card. This card is for the weekend, well, end of the week, so kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish. And we have Two of Swords. And I can't believe my cat has... she's whined through this whole reading. I should have put her in another room. There she is. Merlina. Maybe she wants to come on camera. So, Two of Swords, it can be about feeling indecisive. More than anything, it's like you have this craving for more information so that you can feel comfortable making a decision and moving forward. And the challenge of the Two of Swords is to either move forward anyway without having all the information that you think you need, or relying on some other means of gaining information, like your intuition, for example. So usually if you're going to make a decision, or I'm thinking about how I would normally make a decision, you get all the information, you get all the facts. But if information is lacking and it's hard to get all the facts and it's hard to keep things clear, then you're kind of forced to use your intuition and kind of wing it. And sometimes that can be a blessing in disguise sometimes. So the Two of Swords, what I'm getting is that this weekend, your biggest ally is your intuition and your ability to kind of see in the dark, to feel your way through things. And you may not have all the information. You may not have all the facts. You may not be able to see things clearly in a logical kind of way, but you will be able to tap into your intuition. And that's kind of your superpower towards the end of the week. These are all what I would call kind of challenging cards. We start off at the beginning of the week with kind of feeling a pull towards, dwelling on the negative. When we get to the middle of the week, it's almost like we feel kind of defensive. Maybe we have to prove ourselves. It may just feel like life is a bit of a struggle, a little bit of maybe more of an internal struggle than an external struggle, or maybe both. And then at the end of the week, it's like it's time to make a decision. It's time to choose a path, make some choices. And it's not going to be easy to do that because you won't have all the information that you would like to make an informed decision. Also, I get a sense of conflict with the Two of Swords, like feeling conflicted about something. And again, your intuition is your ally here, for sure. Okay, I'm just going to look at all three cards and see if there's anything else that I want to point out. It seems like, it might seem to you like this is kind of a negative, sort of stressful reading. These are all minor arcana cards though, so these are kind of minor things that you're working through. Oh, and I did say the ground reminds me of melted cheese here. We see that same ground in this next one and then in the background. And it's almost like the ground is getting further away with each successive card, which is interesting. And to me, I feel like as you move through this week, your perspective changes. You're able to get more of a big picture perspective as you move through the week. I feel like you're your own worst enemy this week, and you're also your best ally. So that's kind of interesting. So you want to watch out for those kind of tendencies to dwell on the negative, or tendencies to kind of get caught up in your own head and feel like you have to prove yourself. I think really the message is take a deep breath, and bring in some more self-acceptance this week, accepting yourself where you're at. And accepting yourself where you're at doesn't mean that you have nowhere to go, or that like you shouldn't try to improve things, but it takes the pressure off. When you accept yourself where you're at, it takes the pressure off, and it opens up certain portals and doorways that would otherwise remain closed to you if you stay in that place of tension and not accepting yourself and trying to always be the best and stay on top. Okay, let's see if there's anything else I want to say here. I like how we got cups, we've got wands, we've got swords. This is a very diverse and balanced reading. Yeah, I think that's all I can think of at the moment. And as always, I invite you to add your own take on these cards in the comment section. So if you notice something or you have a different take, feel free to share. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. You can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I've got tons of fun tarot resources on there for you to check out. And I hope you have a wonderful week.